And we're live. Good morning.
Morning.
Turn this up back in here. Morning.
Whoop. Morning. I'm going to kill that. There we go.
Is that me or you?
There we go.
All right. There's Peterson Farms of Nashville. Howdy, Phil. He's about 45 minutes south of me.
Cool.
So I can get this pulled up on my phone so I can read the comments. Maybe. All right. Hi, Wendy. Willoway Ranch.
Cottonwood. Yeah.
Cottonwood Ranch. That's Raquel. She's a horse person too.
Great. Hey, nice to meet you.
I told her to check you out earlier. I talked to her on another live chat.
Great. Hell yeah.
It's raining here, but not bad.
Yeah, we had a bit last night. We weren't supposed to get any, but we actually had a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not doing too bad here. I mean, we're supposed to get bad tomorrow, I guess, but we need it. I need to do a garden video.
Yeah.
Mine's about done.
Is your how big's your garden? Is it large?
This year it's not very big. I just done it in the self-wicking tubs because I just ran out of time.
Okay. All right.
Oops. Oh, he did. Raquel, can you add his link? I'm not sure how to do it from here.
Oh, my link?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I can put that in the chat.
Raquel's a moderator. Hi, Diane.
You make people work. Yeah, was that? It's like...
We're going to have a raid from Missouri Outlaw, Randy.
Yeah.
There's his link in the chat.
Oh, you just beat me by a split second.
So, you want to tell us about your channel?
So my channel, I've been on YouTube since 2006, but I've been active since 2014 or 15. And it started off as more or less a homebrew channel where, homebrew beer, wine, whatever. And I was part of world community. I mean, the entire world. We're talking New Zealand, Australia, the UK a lot, Ireland, the United States, North America, some South America too, where we did nothing but homebrew, and everyone was learning off each other, and everyone was putting videos out on a weekly basis. We would do like homebrew Wednesdays and go over what we'd done during the week with brew and beer and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, the bottom of that fell out. Everyone had made videos. There was no other video to make, so I think things just kind of like fell apart after a while, and it went into a lull for a bit. So my original channel was called Thrash Metal Homebrew and Thrash Metal Homebrew is what it was. And then what I started doing, I started tinkering around and getting into the barbecue scene. So I was hanging out with Lep TV and a lot of the other people out there that were all barbecuers. So Kent from Dutch Daddy and started doing that. So I changed my name to Thrash Metal Homebrew and Barbecue. So I did that for a while. And then all of a sudden, I was a volunteer at large animal rescue, so I was dealing with horses and llamas, goats, pigs, cows, you name it, chickens, and I was doing a lot of rescue work. So what I did is I said, okay, enough with the name changing. I went ahead and just put Thrash Life, where it kind of anything that would come up in my channel, I would I would do. I wouldn't have to change my name as things were progressing through the channel. So that happened back in, let's see, I've been doing. I started the rescue work probably about 5.5 years ago. My wife and I. So we were going to two rescues. One was called Edwards Animals, and Edwards Animals was an elderly lady and her husband, and they would take animals from like the zoos and stuff when they're closing exhibits. And instead of having them euthanized if there's no place to go, they would take these animals in. So, I was working with zebus, llamas, alpacas, cows, chickens, ducks, horses, everything. So we started going out there and helping out, a couple times a week, which is pretty cool. And then from there, Linda, who ran the place, she has a daughter. Her name is Terry, and my wife has always wanted to own a horse. And she was the oldest of 7 kids in her family, so there was no way that they could afford having a horse. So the answer was always no when she was a kid. And Linda had introduced her to her daughter Terry, who runs Terralyn Horse Rescue. So we go out there, and she actually started going out there, and then she invited me to come out after a few weeks. She goes, "You're going to absolutely love this place." So on Saturday morning, we would go to Edwards, do that thing, and then we would go out to the horse rescue and help with the rehabilitation with the horses. So we were learning as we were going. As a kid, I had a horse. My family had a horse, and it was more. I pretty much, not to put my mother down, but it was pretty much a lawn ornament to them. Only a few of us could ride it, because she was like half broke. We used to ride satin bareback, and she would take off, and you'd end up in a freaking prickly pear patch or hitting your head on a rock or something. So I grew up around the horses. My cousins had a farm; they had cows and everything. Boy, I just kind of like went off on the deep end, didn't I?
You're right.
Okay. So I was very familiar being around horses at the rescue. So the sweat equity that my wife and I do out there, they actually gave us our horses. So we currently have 2 horses. My wife got hers when Sophie was probably a year old. She's now over 4 years old. And then I'm actually saddle training Faith. She'll be 2 in October. So I've been doing drive line on her and working with putting the weight on her back. And yeah, so it's been fun. We're probably eventually going to be moving to a place where we'll have our own land where we can have our horses here. We can have the horses with us instead of having to drive 15 minutes to a boarding facility where they're at. So yeah. Hey, Mitchell.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Well, I was waiting on a link and I didn't realize that he posted it in the chat. It was kind of my fault too. I didn't really look. Well, now he's gone. So, I wasn't really familiar with your channel until the Josh was telling me about it the other day. So you do the rescue horses.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in Colorado.
Yep.
So do you have to do a lot of like? So my wife and I looked into it at one point to do some rescue horses. Do you have to have the high fences? So they require you in Oklahoma to have high fences to
probably for the wild ones, because I think that coincides with the sanctuaries where, when they're doing the big old roundups and stuff like in Montana, and they're bringing the wild horses in. I think there's a regulation, but where I'm at, they have the instead of the 6-volt fences, they have the 18-volt fences, rope wire. So they don't have to be that high. But man, you get popped by one of those, you get hit, man.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So most of the horses that they get, other than what happened during COVID when it first started, is usually through the animal auctions up in Fort Collins, which is about 70 miles north of here. That's where the main livestock and auctions happen. And what they do is we have people from the rescue that are actively watching online at these places to look for certain horses and their babies or a pregnant horse or whatever, to be able to get them. And what they do is they blast out, hey, there's these horses here, we need donations to get them. They'll upfront fee that stuff, but it's backfed through the donations through people, which is really cool.
Yeah,
they'll usually go to quarantine for a couple weeks at a couple people's farms or their barns or wherever they're at. And then after the couple weeks, then they end up at Terrelin. And then at that point, we go in and as volunteers, not only clean up behind them, brush them and everything else, but we help with the rehabilitation with them too. After you've been there for a while, the trainer, Terry's beautiful trainer out there, you learn how to work with the horses to start gaining their trust. A lot of these horses have been dumped and been abused and neglected, and it's horrible. And to go back to the COVID stuff, when COVID first happened, about 6 months after, people were losing their jobs, and people could not afford their horses, and they were dumping them. There was a big dumping that they did up in Nebraska, where all of the rescues here in Colorado, thank God we have a lot of them, went up with all their trailers, and there was like 70 horses, and I think Terrelin got 12 of them. And just these poor animals are just like, you skin them, they're just skeletons with skin on them. So
yeah,
they go into the all you can eat diet, they get looked at by the vets. All of it's driven on donations and grants that they get, which is awesome. So that's our heart and soul. So
yeah, it's good to see people like that that really have been interested in taking care of them, because we have horses, and people will call us to come and help them with a horse or something they're having problems with, and we'll get over there. And the biggest thing is they want them just to sit in the pasture and look pretty. They don't go out there and maintain their teeth, maintain their feet.
Exactly.
I mean, and you'll get there and one will have rain rot or something like that on it, and it's kind of depressing when you get out there and they haven't been taken care of. And it's someone, as an animal owner, not just a horse, you have a responsibility to take care of it if you're going to have it. And the people just don't understand that. Sometimes don't understand that.
Exactly. Yep. Some of the horses that they do get, they'll get them back they'll get them back, and come to find out that the horse has got either major cancer or something with them, and they have to be put down. So that really sucks too. And a lot of people will turn away from that, but I'm always there to help, Terry and them. Even if it's during the week, I'll take time off to go help console and help with the put down of these animals, because they've been abused, or they've had a real crappy last part of their life, and they need all the love they can. So, you love on them and let them run in the pasture for a month, and then when it's time to put them down, it's time to put them down. So yeah, a lot of it is good, but there's some sad that goes along with the rescue work. But that's how it goes. It's life,
Yeah. So what made you decide that you wanted to help as much as you are helping?
I think, I spent 10 years in the military, lived overseas. I went in right after high school. And after getting back from doing that, I went through a bad marriage that ended, and then I'm currently I'm married now, and this year will be 27 years with my wife. But fine, all our kids are grown up and out of the house. Okay, so we have time slots to fill. So doing this is pretty much it scratched my wife's itch on the horse stuff. Now she's an owner, and it's a give back, I think, more or less to the community and to these beautiful souls that they're saving every day. And it is it's so fulfilling. It's a lot of hard work. It's you just don't go there and brush on horse. I'm working them. I'm doing all kinds of things with the horses. So is my wife. She can barely walk, but she's working these horses. It just filled that slot of time, I think, with our kids growing up. Now we're grandparents, but
Yeah.
we take the grandkids out there and and let them be with the horses too. So it's kind of a win-win all around.
Well, I make a joke to my wife all the time that horses are a bankruptcy starter kit. I
was waiting on that one.
It's there. So horses can make money, but you have to spend a lot to be able to do it. And I think people have this misconception, like they'll buy a couple horses and they'll breed them, and then they're going to make millions. It's like,
right.
No, that's not how it works. Hang on a second. I got to plug in my computer. I just realized that it's running on the battery, and I was wondering why my other monitor wouldn't come on.
Cool. Cheers to the chat.
I'm getting rain coming in, so mine keeps getting a spinning circle of death.
Yeah. Where are you at again, Josh?
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana.
In the town of 2,000 people.
I
call it Nowhere, Indiana.
Cool.
Let's see. I'm trying to answer the chat on my phone, and it's because if I shrink my screen down, I'm still working on my office, getting it all set up so I can put. I got a 42-inch TV sitting in the other room. I'm going to use it for my second monitor so I can do.
Oh, there you go.
This here, and I'm learning. I just recently got a laptop, so I've been doing it from my phone for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's different.
What works. What you know.
Diesel. Sorry, my Rottweilers are weird. Driving me nuts. He thinks he's the size of a Chihuahua.
Well, mine's the opposite. I have a Chihuahua that thinks she's a Rottweiler until another freaking dog comes up, and then she turns into a tiny little Chihuahua.
But mine, that's my cattle dog, or my livestock guardian dog, basically. I've got a short video. It says, "Who says a Rottweiler can't be a livestock guardian dog?" I don't remember what it was, but I had a calf get out, and I'm like, I opened the door. I was like, "Go get your." I won't say the word because he goes nuts if I say the C word.
Yeah.
Yep. But he's looking at me and looks around. I'm like, "Go get her!" And finally, he jumps down off the porch and runs her back in the fence. And then the very last thing you see is him stopping to pee in the weeds. I didn't edit none of it out. I just let it go. Not for nothing.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, Desiree. I'm trying to catch everybody in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody has any questions for Mitchell, put them in, or Mitchell. Don't ask Mitchell nothing. He's a poopy head. Anybody has any questions for Thrash, just type them in there. I'm sure somebody will see them before I do.
So do you have a hard time finding people to donate?
I think it depends on what's going on. Like with the COVID, it was real tough. But the thing is like with COVID, with everything, all the work that we did, usually the rescue, we would see around 30 to 35 horses come through that program. the end of 2020 and going into 2021, we saw over 70 horses in that time frame for a year. So not only were we having to do double duty to help these animals, but making sure that we weren't getting the donations. So thank God for what grants that she had. I think it really helped them because it's pretty expensive to for a single horse. Just for food's $500 a month. I mean, that's not including the vet. That's not including the farrier. That's not including all the other things that happen. If you send them off to a trainer, that's money that needs to be done. Usually the horses will go for a month to a trainer. And some of these horses that come in, they're beautiful horses. They've just been neglected, but you come find out that one of the horses is like a cow cutting horse or a well-trained horse, dressage horses as well. And then you get a lot of the babies that come in. Those are the hard ones. So they'll stay at the rescue for quite a while before they're adopted, unless someone has a ranch that they want to have the baby. A lot of horses come in pregnant. So we go through that. I got a great video of one of the horses being born. I mean, to be there and watch that happen, it's such an amazing thing to be a part of when you're seeing a baby horse born. It's cool as hell. I mean, if you get a chance on the channel and go look that up, but I videoed the whole thing when Sally gave birth to Paxton, and Paxton is a beautiful colt. Well, he's grown up now. That was a couple of years ago. He's a big, beautiful horse right now at a friend's barn who took him. But yeah, it's the donations part. It is sometimes, I think it depends on the time of the year, but then you'll get a lot of people like circles on YouTube. I have a lot of circles I'm in, and if the call goes out and on Facebook too, usually people they'll give a couple bucks, and that all adds up. I mean, that's hay and that's grain,
Yeah.
Pretty much. And it goes directly to them too. When the donations come in, it goes directly to them.
Yeah, I seen it. That's pretty neat. I mean, it's good to always see that people are willing to help, especially with any kind of rescue. Horses to my wife and I, that it's a love-hate relationship with horses. But I mean, I say that jokingly because I mean, I have a horse, and we raise horses, quarter horses here, and every spring when they're being born, it's just and it's like that with any animal being born, but horses especially, because we had this foal get up last year. I mean, it shot out, and that thing got up and it started bucking and kicking, and that's I told my wife, I said, that one's mine. That's my next horse. and my wife, she looked at me, she's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yep." Wow.
I had a registered paint. I think I showed you that.
Yeah.
And like I said, she was the only thing I had here at the time, and the neighbor on the backside of me has a mule that you just hear. Well, he's a donkey, but full size, and you'd hear him every day. Just if the cows went under the bridge, he wouldn't go with them. So he'd sit over and cry and bawl, and we took Zippy over there, and I rarely hear Maud anymore.
Yeah. Companion. Yeah. So I see Cottonwood Ranch asking, where am I? I'm on the eastern side of Denver in a city called Aurora. I can spit to the plains. I'm that close. The horses are 15 minutes away from us, out on the plains there. Terrellins is out on the plains. It's the rolling plains. So that's where I'm at. Aurora, Colorado. You want to call it that.
He got sidetracked. He does that easily.
No, I did. I was making sure I wasn't muted. because I mute myself because I couldn't get that outlet to reset, so I had to. That's why I stood up again, and I had to. I don't know what's wrong with that outlet. Don't have any power,
Uh-oh.
and that controls all of my printers and computers here.
Not
Uh-oh.
good.
No, Eddie. I was just conversating.
Conversing.
Yeah. I know that's not what your strong suit. Me and Eddie and Josh, we have a good friendly banter between us. I was actually on the phone with Eddie yesterday for like an hour and a half. That's one of the neat things about this whole community, that we all get to, like, Josh and I. Like, he texted me earlier. He's like, "Hey, where you at? Waiting on the link." But so do you have the links where people can go to donate if anyone did want to donate?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me pull up Terralyn. Let's see. They're on Facebook. They have their own website, which is terralynhorserescue.org. Let me bring up
Josh, you might make him a moderator so he can actually put the link. I don't have my other screen, so I can't do anything. Or is Eddie a moderator?
Eddie's a moderator.
So,
Markel's a moderator. Thrash, post something in the chat so I can make.
Yeah, let me see if I can post it.
So how much time would you say that you spend on a weekly basis? Obviously on your own time, going and helping taking care of the horses.
Probably about 10 hours a week total.
I mean, that's honestly, people when they hear 10 hours, they're like, well, that's not a whole lot. Well, time you get off work, that's your whole evening.
Yeah.
So,
or on the weekend, like on Sundays is when I do it. Saturday is kind of like my day off, because after the work week, I need a break. And then Sunday is when you go feel your heart, and spend time out there. It's not only that place. There's other places that we go to if needed, depending on what's going on, to go help out there as well. But 10 hours is a lot of time. The number of horses that are out there that we take care of at the rescue is around 35, 40 horses. So it's you're constant. If you're not picking pens and feeding and watering, you're out working the horses in the pens and helping with the rehabilitation. So 10 hours is a long time doing that in one day. So yeah.
So a friend of mine lives in southern Colorado, and I don't know if he still does. I haven't talked to him in a while, but they would take troubled teens, and that they would help. That they would take them out there and let them work with the horses. I can't remember the name of the town that it was, though. But I thought that was pretty neat how they were doing that, teaching the kids how to work with the horses and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's always interesting whenever you can get people involved in them that typically wouldn't be.
Did I posted Terralyn's link in the chat? Did it work?
I didn't see it.
I'll put it here in the private chat. There you go. And then I saw the question, what's the worst and best story of doing the rescue work that I've run into? It's kind of combined in one. There was a horse that was at the auction, and she had a broken hip, and she was down in the pen. And they got her. They finally got her on the trailer and got her back to Terralyn. This is a number of years ago, where she got off. They were going to take her back, not only save her, but to euthanize her, instead it happened to go to the freaking slaughter auctions, that stuff that was going on. So that horse, when they got back to Terralyn, walked off the trailer, and she stayed around for another 4 years. Her name was Hope, and she died of old age. And she was kind of that one of the lucky ones that was able to survive. She had a broken hip. You couldn't ride her or anything, but she was full reign of. She was not confined to anywhere except at nighttime. She was allowed to roam the whole area and graze the whole day because they didn't know how long she had to live, because she had a broken hip. So she lumbered all around, and she was kind of like the face of Terralyn for a long, long time. And then when the day came for her to be put down, my wife and I were lucky enough to be there to help send her on her way. But that was one of the saddest freaking stories, or one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my entire life, is seeing this horse eventually be put down. She had gotten old enough where and so frail that she was shaking. They had to put wraps on her joints to help her stand. I mean, it got that bad. And yeah, it was a happy and sad. A real good happy one was the watching Paxton be born. I think that's the best thing I saw. Second place is when mamas, they don't quite make it, but the babies do, and watching them be let loose on the property and just watching them run and just watching how playful the horses are when they're that young. It's fun to watch that stuff. It fills my heart. I mean, the work that we do is just like it's phenomenal work that all the volunteers do. I'm always training a new volunteer. Last week, I trained a new volunteer. They've never been around horses, but they want to come out and help, and just trying to keep not only them safe, keep them from getting hurt, but teaching them about the horses and how a horse works, and how not to get in the middle of all the mares when they're all having a tiff, or it's fun. I absolutely love the volunteer work that we do, and if you guys are ever looking, if you love horses or your heart's that way, I really suggest doing that. It's you'll go home feeling better. You're leaving the place a better place than when you woke up that morning. So, and you're a voice to a voice that can't speak English, so you're speaking for them.
So we don't have any rescues around here. That we have a couple sanctuaries that I deliver to from work, but I take feed and shavings and stuff out there. And but as far as rescues, we don't really have anything like that aside from that. And she's got people that work there for her, and she's got some of the biggest cows I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I bet these cows go on 3,500 pounds.
Wow.
Huge. I mean, but all they do is stand around and eat all day. I mean, they don't have to. Their purpose is to go there to end their days. And
yep.
They're living their best life over there. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Terralyn started off as 120 acres, and they had it split into 3 plots. And a year and a half ago, they moved from their main area to the farthest area. In the center area, they built a new house and a new barn, and the rescue area is on the other side. They're going to use the barn for quarantine. But the old property where we started off doing the work and stuff is the gal who bought that plot. I think it's 30 acres out there. Is a Mustang sanctuary. So they just started bringing horses in, and these horses are all coming from the stuff that's going on in Montana, where they're herding all the wild horses up. So there's a lot of them that are going over there, and I think they're going to have 60 horses at a time there that they move through. which is weird. So it's kind of cool to look over there and see a lot of the wild Mustangs in there. And like you said, the fencing, it's a bit taller over there from where, and it's nothing but chutes and corrals everywhere. So with the structures there, so if it hails or whatever, they can get out of the weather. But yeah.
Do you have pictures of? I know you have pictures of Faith. What's your other horse's name?
Sophie.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, Sophie.
Hi, Tarsha at Triple Threat.
Did you? Oh, yeah. Someone just Tarsha. I didn't realize that Cottonwood had put the link at the top.
I done that, I think.
Well, yeah, you pinned it, but that's what I was sitting there doing was.
Oh, I didn't know how. I don't know how you do it.
You pinned it. It's up at the top.
Oh, yeah. So if you put a link in the chat, you go to the three dots after you post it.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the three dots and there's pin message, and it'll put it right.
Okay.
But you can only do one. You can't do multiple.
Well, I just wanted to have yours up there so everybody can come over and check out your channel, what you got going over there. I met Thrash when it was still Thrash Metal Barbecue, or I can't remember, Barbecue Brew or something like that.
Yeah, Thrash Metal Homebrew and Barbecue, yeah.
And I think I met you over at Lep's channel.
Yep. Yeah, big in the barbecue community, the homebrew community, of course. The animal rescue, I do a lot of tinkering with the old 8-bit systems like Commodore 64s and Apples and stuff. I fix those as well. Try to keep them from going into the landfill. So all of the 8-bit stuff I like to tinker with as well.
Hey, Ski Girly.
Let's see. But Sophie, she's a bay. She's a quarter horse. Big old butt, Faith is she's her first marker. She was a rescue as well. Both the horses are rescues. Faith, her first marker is Arabian, and then her second marker is Puerto Rican Pasifino. She's got more of those characteristics than anything. And then her third marker is Hanoverian, but I don't see that because Hanoverian's a very big horse. She's a very beautiful, thinner horse than a quarter horse. She's all black except her sock. She's got one white sock and a little itty bitty white blaze on her forehead. But other than that, she's a totally black horse.
So is the Pasifarian, is it the one that's the only horse that's naturally gated? Is that that's what I thought.
And it's crazy when you watch her like do a start or a stop from a run or a trot, and she goes into that gate, and it's like, wow, it's really cool to watch that. I'm not going to push her on it, If I never ride her, I'd be happy. But I'm saddle training her now. She's doing very well. I think she's not going to have an issue with being ridden at all. I think this time next year I'll probably be riding her.
Yeah. Hopefully. So my wife just corrected me. What did you say it was? Peruvian is the naturally gated one.
But I see with Faith with the Pasifino, she's got that gate as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're probably they're all right there. Yeah, they're all right there. I don't know all of the. My wife, she's
He froze.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's spitting, smiling, and everything all at once.
Now we can pick at him, and he can't say nothing just yet.
Yeah, there you go.
I met Mitchell just a few months ago, and it was just like we didn't ever not know each other. We've just been picking each other ever since. And then Eddie over at Devil Dog, he's right there with us. He was a Marine, obviously.
Me, or is it out for everybody?
What? He looks confused.
He says you're out for everybody.
Am I the only one here?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I feel like I'm the only one.
Are you there?
We're here. Go lay down. Go.
Let's see.
Yeah,
So I can share some pictures here.
it's just you, Mitchell.
So this is Sophie in the picture with me down in the basement. This was probably a year and a half ago.
Now I'm.
Oh, nope. Yeah, Mitchell's having some technical difficulties, I think. There's Sophie. And then here's Faith. There's Faith. That's my girl. That was probably a year ago.
Make sure I can take one down so I can pull his other one up.
Yeah. Well, it's there. Jet, all the work. I mean, I love it.
Mitchell, I know you're going to go live after a bit if you can't. He's going live after this. That's why I had to bump it up. We're part of the Last Chance Cook-Off.
Okay.
Cooking. It's just to cook something outside.
There you go.
For the year. Basically, last chance of cooking outside before winter hits.
Exactly.
He's going to go live on his channel for his video. Mine don't drop until the 26th.
Yeah, I'm going to grill up some ribeyes tonight, and then probably for Labor Day we got some ribs. I'll smoke some ribs up.
I think I'm just going to hang out here at the house. I'm sure I'll cook something. I just don't know what yet.
Yeah. Well, everybody and their brother goes up in the mountains here when there's a long weekend. That's the last place you want to be. So we just stay home.
Yeah, I bet. Let's see if I can do this.
It was fun when you were a kid because the population wasn't as high as it is now in Denver. So
there you go, Mitchell. Yeah, I'm sure I'll fire up something. I'll be the smoker, the grill, or the griddle, or I'll have something somewhere. I got a deep fryer out there. It's supposed to rain. I might have to move her into the shop.
Cool. Well, Angie's in the house. Angie Mason.
Mm-hmm.
She did this painting for Faith.
You're echoing, Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with my internet. I had to switch to my phone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice, Angie. Well, thank you, Devil Dog. We appreciate that.
Cool.
Y'all definitely go check out Thrash. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. Plus, he plays a lot of music. He's a rock star.
A rock star. Yeah. A something star. Yeah, Angie Mason Fluid Arts always making me play Desperado and
yeah, I seen that the other night. Then she had to dip out when you played that the other night. I was like,
yeah, sorry, Angie. I think she had a rough day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is starting to pick up now. So if anybody has any more questions for Thrash, shoot them out. Did you get your mail yet from me?
I have not.
Okay. Well, I did. When did I think it was Wednesday when I dropped it. So it's
probably be here today.
My post office has been slacking bad on getting stuff out. I don't know what's going on.
Government workers.
I seen a thing yesterday, I think it was, that they're hiring 5 new rural carriers for my area. I'm like, wow. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I thought about it, but I would have to go buy a Jeep or something, like sit on the wrong side, and obviously I ain't gonna sit in my truck and do it.
There you go.
But I like where I'm at, so I'll probably just hang out there. I don't know. We'll see. Are you ready? You back this time, Mitchell?
Yeah, I had to switch to my phone because I don't know what it is with the internet.
Are you on your iPhone or the Android?
The Android, the iPhones don't keep up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never owned an iPhone.
That's a smart thing.
Yeah. I think I had one work phone that was an iPhone, but it didn't last long.
That's with Mitchell. His work phone's an iPhone. I've never owned an Android. So
yeah. 1, 2. Work phone, personal phone.
And
My-
we have a work phone, but it's an iPhone too. So
My work phone, I hate it whenever I have to forward like emails and stuff because then I'm sitting there fumbling around trying to get this iPhone to forward. And with the Android, it's so much simpler. It is one button and it forwards it. And then it's off in the ether.
I've heard opposite. I don't know. Like I said, I've never touched an Android, but I went to the AT&T store here one time, and when I first got my iPhone, I went from my Motorola Razr to an iPhone, and I was lost. And then
To be fair, Josh, you're still kind of lost, even having the iPhone.
I am really. But then I went and I'm like, I want to get an Android, and the guy goes, "You'll be back in a month because it's so much easier to use the iPhone," which I don't know. Eddie said he had a question for Thrash.
It's like, why does Poopy Head still not say hello to White Shoulders Farmstead? That must be an inside joke.
Yeah. If you've seen early in the chat, Willoway Ranch commented and said hello, and we were on her chat one night, and Mitchell posted in the comments, called Josh and put the emoji and the poop emoji in there, and she's like, "Why is Josh a head?" And so now we can't get her to say it again, so we just call Mitchell Poopy Head.
Poopy Head.
All because I did it one time to Josh just to pester him.
It's funny.
And as soon as she said it, like everybody in the chat was just it was pretty funny.
It blew up. It was.
You had to be there.
Yeah, it was funny, but I'm like, what the crap, And now I can't get her to do it again. And now she'll go, "Mitchell, you're a poopy head." I'm like, no, that's not what you said.
So,
or we call him the Backstreet Boy. When he shaved his beard and got him a haircut, and we're like, he looks like a Backstreet Boy.
Backstreet Boy.
Because he's a young pup.
Yeah.
I almost said
Baby
your real name.
face.
I almost said your real name, Thrash. Sorry. Everybody's saying hi to everybody, and don't start.
Hello, Shannon, White Shoulders Farmstead. I can't see the comments unless I go back to them, but then I can't see everything there.
That's what sucks about being on a phone.
I always struggled with that when I was doing it from my phone. I still struggle with it. Mitchell's right. Let's face it. I'm still lost.
Stuntman Steve. Familiar.
I still have trouble with Shannon. I still want to call her the White Shoulders. What was it? White Shoulder Borgoats or something like that. Her
it was Homestead.
Was it?
And then she changed it to Farmstead.
Yeah, he's hateful like that, Shannon. You just got to ignore him.
That's funny. A lot of banter.
It's constant like this.
Yeah, it's fun. There's
several of us and this community is. It's not just this community. The whole YouTube thing. Like I said, I met you in a barbecue community, and then Blackstone community.
Well, it was White Shoulder Boar Goats. That's what it was.
See, he don't listen, Thrash.
He's listening, but he's on another plane. Because I was watching that scroll up too. They're like, it was never called that. I could see his wheels turning.
I have it wrote down as white shoulder boar goats and something over all my notes, but I don't feel like getting them out right now.
I think when I sent her, okay, Eddie, I think when I sent her a magnet, I originally wrote on there white shoulder boar goats and farmstead, and then I had to go back and change the envelope. And
yeah,
there's someone new. I don't know that channel.
Hey, Josh. I got mine right here. I just haven't opened it yet. I'm doing a mail call.
Cool.
Because I got a couple shirts in from other channels and all kinds of stuff.
I'm not even going to try and butcher that name. Sorry.
Are you talking Burnaby?
There you go.
Burnaby Sanchez? Yeah. Hello.
Uncle Steve Shake is in the house. Good morning, Uncle Steve.
What's up, Uncle Steve?
Grash knows him. Mitchell, have you had a chance to check out Uncle Steve at all yet?
I don't know if I have or not. I have to go look on my subscriptions to see. And since my computer's not working right now,
I think I've said it every week since he's come on in the morning. I've tried everything Uncle Steve has, and nothing is not outstanding. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Daddy Dutch. Good morning, Kent.
What's up, Kent? Yeah, Daddy Dutch sent me one of Steve's shakes. It was the hot sweet one.
Oh yeah, he sent me
that
one.
You got to use sparingly.
One
My
his,
God. That shit'll light your ass.
It's a little warm. The sweet heat, I think, is what Kent sent me.
Sweet heat, yeah.
And boy, howdy. But if you put it on like chicken wings or something, that's what it was originated for, is what Kent told me. It calms down once you cook it.
Yeah.
Straight out of the bottle, it will set you on fire.
Yeah. But I think I just put it on. I put it on something, and all I know is that eating it was a chore.
Not like that new chip. That thing. I'm gonna send one to Mitchell and see if he's man.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I did it 3 years in a row. This last year kicked my ass. I did it fine. It's just, oh God.
That 2021.
Like, I'm too old for this shit.
2021 wasn't hot. It was hot, but it wasn't unbearable going in. But later on that night, that was bad.
Yeah, I had the worst abdominal freaking cramps I've ever had in my entire life. Nothing comes out. You're just dealing with cramps, you know. That was not fun. Oh my God. Thought I was going to have to go to the freaking hospital.
I do.
The other day at work, someone had those ghost pepper chips, and they're sitting over there. They're talking about how hot they were, and I ate one of them, and I'm like, "This isn't even that bad." And then I kept doing what I was doing, and they're just standing there watching me. They're like, "You need some water?" I'm like, "No, it wasn't hot." And he puts the bag back over in front of me. He's like, "Get another one." I said, "Oh, it tastes like Fritos with a little bit of spice to it, but it's not hot." And he's over there like in a sweat, and I'm like, "I don't know what your problem is, but they're not that bad."
I've had the Pocky ghost pepper chips. Those are good. They are really good.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, I really like those. But that stupid one chip challenge thing, it doesn't taste good for one, and it just makes your stomach cramp. I was like, get me in the truck. Let's go to the hospital. Something's wrong.
Yeah. Well, when you're eating it, it's like if you took a Dorito, just a plain like regular tortilla chip, and just scoop a bunch of freaking charcoal residue.
Yeah, exactly. It tastes horrible.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, when I done a video on that 2021 kick challenge, and I mean, my eyes were all red, my face is red, I was sweating, and
man, it was
But
horrible.
it just tastes awful. I mean, it's like, why would anybody want to eat this and act like they even
It's
enjoy
a
it?
dare. It's what it is. It's a dare, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to go do the challenge with me? I did it with Chatio.
Yeah, I've
You
seen
know,
that.
I got the video up on my channel. I got the video up there.
Yeah, I
But
watched you guys do it.
I don't have a problem eating it. Chatio had issues eating it
Yeah.
at the beginning, but I never had an issue. I love the spicy food. The thing is the after effect, because that thing had Reaper and Scorpion.
Yeah.
And that I think that's the first time I had scorpion pepper, unless it was in before. All I know is that 4 or 5 hours later, that thing's moving through your digestive system. As soon as it hits your small intestines, it's unbearable.
Yeah, it was awful. I hated that. I
absolutely.
watched Kent do the 2020, and I think he took a bite of it. And he was like, "Nope, I ain't doing this." Threw the rest of the chip away. I should have
It's not
took.
worth it, people.
I should have learned from him. He likes stuff like that, hot stuff like we do, and even Mitchell. And I'm like, if Kent's not eating it, why am I? This is stupid.
Right. Yep. I'm trying to see if I have the box. Oh, where'd I put them? Oh, they're over here. Need them here.
Yeah, if I can find that, Mitchell, I need to send that to you. I was going to do a challenge type thing, but I'm not eating it again, so I'm just going to.
There's the two. Yeah, that one sucked.
Was last year's that bad?
No, I didn't have issues with it. Instead, I crushed it to say I pooped it. Nope, never again. Nope, let the 30-year-olds do it.
Yeah, exactly. let the Mitchells of the world do it. He's just a pup.
The 30-somethings or the 20-somethings.
He makes fun of me because I'm old all the time, so I call him a pup.
The only thing that happened when you're eating it is that when you're all done and everything, it changes your taste buds a little bit for a couple of days. A lot of sweet, you taste more sweet. The tart is like gone. I mean, it's insane. It burns your.
I would imagine so.
It's like, oh my god.
Eddie's going to do it. I hope you do it live, Eddie. I want to be there for that. You and Gary can do it. That would. Gary at Butt Loop 29, hit them two bicker back and forth like.
Oh, Belt Loop 29 can't do it. I know he can't do it. We watched him eat one of the. It was a glorified jalapeno, and he was sitting there with milk and ice cream. It's like, okay.
I was eating some pizza one night. My father-in-law come over. I had some Mediterranean reds, and we were sitting there eating them, and his eyeballs are sweating. They're so freaking hot. I'm like, you're a big sissy. And he came over a couple days later and brought some habaneros over. He was like, here, eat them, big boy. So I took one, threw it in my mouth, nothing. Well, mine was hot. I said, you're just a sissy. I eat another one, nothing. That third one lit me up. I felt like I had a mouthful of needles. I was grabbing a beer. I grabbed milk, anything I could find. And it was, and my mouth was on fire with that thing.
Yeah, you get some of those jalapenos with the seeds in them.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they'll light you up.
So a couple of years ago, we grew jalapenos, and the kids, Landon was, I don't know, 12 or so, and the girls, they wanted to try a jalapeno, and they reached over there, and Ava, the middle one, she gets her a big old bite, seeds and all. I mean, and it lit her up. She was crying, rubbing her face. Like, quit touching your face.
Wow. Yeah, don't touch your face, man.
Yeah. My first time trying a jalapeno, I was probably about 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old, and it set me on fire. I mean, my friend of mine's
They're
dad.
one of the lowest tollable freaking peppers, too. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the jalapenos that people eat are usually, they come in the jar where they've been pickled a bit, where you put on like a nachos or whatever, and those are pretty mild.
Yeah,
But
those are-
you get them fresh off the. You get them fresh; they're gonna light you up.
Yeah.
I've done a video last year of I ground up some jalapenos in my jalapeno powder. I was outside coughing and sneezing, and that stuff will light you up. But anything, like you said, anything farm fresh, you get them greenhouse tomatoes or jalapenos or anything, they're just not that hot. And some of these had the little veins running through them where you could see, oh boy, whew.
Yep.
One of the hottest things I've ever eaten was at an Asian restaurant, and they're like, how hot do you want it? It goes 1 through 10, and I was like, I'll take a 10. And they looked at me and they're like, are you sure? Yeah, give me 10. They bring it out, and like it was steaming and stuff, and they carrying it out there. The waitress's eyes are just like pouring just water, and people are coming out of the back coughing because of the steam from the I don't know what kind of pepper they were, but man, they were hot.
Yeah,
Were they the skinny red ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what those are, but yeah, those are pretty hot. Yeah, chai or they're chai
Thai chili.
Yeah, they're Thai
Like
chilies or whatever the hell they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when it's been several years ago, we was making hot ham and cheese sandwiches, and Amy's like, we're cooking them on the griddle inside. We have one of the old cast iron griddles, and it's before I got my blacks on or anything. And she threw jalapenos on the griddle in the kitchen, and like to kill us all. Don't ever do that again. The steam and everything.
Clear the house.
Yeah, Thai chili peppers. Mitchell, are you going live for your cook-off thing still?
At 4 o'clock, because we're trying to make it all stay at 6 o'clock, so people in Europe and Australia, it's not that. I don't know. That's what everybody kind of decided on as far as the time frame. So my live will be at 6 o'clock, and I will be cooking on the live.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, Eddie. He said at 10. That's why we moved this one up an hour. So
I know it just got changed.
You could have called me.
I
Oh wait, he talks to Eddie for an hour and a half on the phone. He can't answer a freaking text message for me.
I hopped right on as soon as you said it's in the chat. Did I not?
Well, the other day.
Well,
I'm
you're backpedaling real fast now. Don't fall over.
I ain't going nowhere, buddy. Because the other night I just got done talking to Thrash, and then I called Mitchell, and he's like, "I was just getting ready to call you. We need to bump it up." I'm like, I just set it all up, so
yeah,
it worked out though.
We just had to change it because so early here it would be, I don't know. That's just how everybody, the people that are helping that are in the UK said that would work best for them. So that's just how we changed it last night. We had a Teams meeting on Teams, and that's what they decided that would work the best.
I had to get poor Thrash up an hour earlier on his day off.
Oh, it's fine. I was feed horses.
No, it's not fine, Thrash.
I was up.
So, Thrash, what do you feed your horses?
So, it's not regular hay. It's more the not as much sugar in the hay, so it's not as sweet to keep them. They're eating all the time, so we don't want them overweight. And then just regular hay, and then we do triple. What is it? Is it triple crown? I think grain.
Yeah.
We try to go all natural with everything that we do. Like the sand clear. We don't use sand clear. We use pure psyllium to do it, because there's so much soy that's in all of the food that they have, and soy's not good for horses.
Yeah.
Soy's not good for people. So we try and keep them as natural as we can on the food front, and we find that they do much better. They have platinum, probiotic. They get everything every day. And then, the 1 week a month, we do the psyllium to get the sand out of them, but the dirt. But it's all natural. We do all the natural stuff.
So the horses that we use for, like the Western Pleasure stuff and my daughter's hunter jumper horse, we just feed them straight alfalfa. We don't do grain because the grains, processing grains, there's a lot of chemicals going into growing the grain. So we try to keep it as natural as possible. Yep. But we have to order the hay from out of state because we have blister bugs real bad in Oklahoma.
Oh, crap.
So we get the big 4x4 by 8 bales.
Yeah. 700 pounders. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these ones are 900.
The alfalfa is a little bit more, it's got more to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they say that, it's who you want to watch, which vet people that say alfalfa's bad, alfalfa's good, one way. You have a lot of people saying, oh, you can't just feed alfalfa. But I tell you what, since we started feeding just alfalfa, we have those horses that are on it look fabulous.
Yeah.
And they have
a lot of sugar content in alfalfa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it depends on how active they are too.
Yeah. Well, these ones all get rode pretty hard. So
yeah. So alfalfa is no problem there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our horses, I don't think they've ever had alfalfa.
It's awful expensive. That's the only. But by the time you're paying to grain out to feed a horse, and then we just switch to alfalfa, it's actually a little cheaper to feed the big bales of alfalfa than it is to buy grain and everything.
Well, we get the pellets, the pellets that are pressed. The alfalfa pellets. We give them those a lot. Yeah, they're all. We give them a soup in the morning. We do a grain. We actually give them coconut oil. There's all kinds of stuff that my wife has done all kinds of research on and ran it past our vet and everything. And they get a soup in the morning. So they're getting hydrated as well as they're getting their morning vitamins and everything. And then they graze on the hay all day, or we'll put them out the pasture for a couple hours and let them graze. And then in the evening time, we do hay. And then she does a dry grain with the alfalfa pellets and the platinum and everything else that goes in it. And they're good to go. Yeah.
Well, with Emma's hunter jumper horse, it's a thoroughbred. So there is thoroughbreds are not as easy keepers as like the old foundation style horses. Our horses, our regular horses, they're easy keepers. So it doesn't take a whole lot to keep them pretty plump,
Yeah.
But that thoroughbred, man, you have to pour it to her to keep her.
Lots of hay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple thoroughbreds that are out with boarded with our horses, and man, they eat like crazy. Almost twice as much to feed those because they're such a large animal too.
Well, their metabolism is a lot different than like a quarter horse or your stock horses, are.
Yeah, these were off-track racers, so yeah.
Yeah. That's what Z is. She was off the track, and then the people that got her turned her into a jumping horse or English horse.
I got a question from Devil Dog. You're going live at 6 Central?
So 4 o'clock my time.
Okay. I hope you heard that, Eddie. I'll text it to you anyway.
So she had a jumping career and the track. So she won. How much did she win on the track? Like 60-ish. So she won like 60-ish on the track, and then roughly about the same as a competition hunter jumper horse.
Wow. We got a lot of dressage horses in our area, so those guys eat a lot too. they're lanky, but they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking 18, 19 hands. I mean, they're tall. I mean, dancing horses. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of hunter jumpers around. Yeah. That's big in Colorado. He said 10, then 4, then 6, then back to 4. So where in Oklahoma are you?
Close to Stillwater.
Okay. Yeah, the wife and I were really thinking about moving down there.
Yeah, there's quite a few people that in my area. So a guy that just started working with me just moved here from California. They wanted to, I don't know the way to best phrase that, change a few things. And a friend of mine, Corey, he just moved from Colorado a year and a half ago, up by kind of like, shoot, I can't think of the name of the town. It's kind of like by Greeley. I used to live in Greeley, Colorado when I was a kid.
That's where I graduated high school.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's where I went to school there in fourth grade.
Which school? Did you go to Heath? Did you go to John Evans? Where'd you go?
I don't know. I was in fourth grade.
Oh, okay.
But I remember the athletics department, like whenever I was in the school, they were like, "Oh, we got a wrestler from Oklahoma now," and I never wrestled, you know.
Oh.
But that's when OSU was, killing it and the wrestling, and they thought that everybody from Oklahoma just knew how to wrestle. I don't know.
Wrestlers.
I don't do that.
Yeah. So Devil Dog's asking, was I Army? Yeah, I was Army for 10 years.
That's why we get along, Devil Dog. Army, we got to stick together. We don't eat crowns.
Yeah, I was in from 1983 to 93.
I think that's when he got out of the Marines, was 93.
Did 4 years active, 4 years reserve, and then re-upped into the National Guard for 2 years. So I did all three.
Thanks, Brenda. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go here directly. We had a guy get hurt at work the other day, so two of us I got one manager covered the morning shift or morning, and I got to cover afternoon and close, so I got to be there at noon. So I'm gonna have to go for long. This dog is making me crazy. Thrash, thanks for coming up.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been great. Everybody go check out Thrash. Check out everybody in the chat.
His channel is pinned to the top still, right, Josh?
It should be. I don't.
If you haven't changed it, it still is.
Yeah. Okay. Check out Poopy Head.
That's great.
Thanks for everybody in the chat for coming in and everything.
Yeah.
If you have anything left, thank you, Angie and Rick. Anybody got any last questions for Thrash or Mitchell or even me? Oh, I will, Eddie.
Yeah, huh? In Colorado. So my wife wants to know if you guys just do like rescue horses or do you do Mustangs too?
They do everything that they can get when they're at the auction, usually, or if it's an owner surrender.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's an owner surrender, if it's a Mustang, we work them. Yeah. Yep.
Has anyone in the chat ever looked up how they tattoo the Mustang horses? Like
It's
what
crazy.
because they're symbols, they're not numbers, but the symbols all mean a number. The BML, they have all that. I mean, it's pretty neat how they have all of the numbers worked out on the different. Like they almost look like hieroglyphs.
Exactly. And they're so cool. I mean, you look over and you see them, they're running around. You can see the white flashes every once in a while because it's on their neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool on how they do that.
Nina, Eddie said hello because Mitchell's not reading it. He can't read it. Hello from me also. And all right, guys, I got to get my butt ready to go to work.
Thanks for having me up.
Hey,
Appreciate it. Thanks, chat.
Thanks for coming up. We appreciate it. It's always cool to find new because I wasn't subscribed to your channel until Josh actually told me about it the other day. And when I went on there to share the link again, I had to resubscribe. I've been having to do that a lot lately. Resubscribe to a bunch of channels that I was already subscribed to.
With a bunch of people right now.
I think YouTube's going through something. I don't know. Their update, they had to back it out, or who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I gained like 30 the other day, and I lost like 43. It's like, how does this happen?
What usually happens, the way the algorithm is it's like I have a video. I've had 2 videos that have gone pretty viral off of my channel, and they're all the rescue stuff. Like, it just ended. I had one video I put out not too long ago, the last rescue video. It got over 2.2 thousand views in 4 days, and I gained like 20 subscribers through it. But what happens is the subscribers have to watch a video of yours for at least 3 minutes or something. I can't remember what the time frame is. And then YouTube will go in, if they don't watch them, they'll pop them off your subscription list.
Yeah.
So they have to resubscribe. So I'm wondering if that's the case.
It could be. And I guess if you're subscribing to a channel, I don't know how many people you guys are subscribed to. You can't go back and watch everybody that you're subscribed to all the time.
No.
I mean, it's impossible, especially like we have this Last Chance Cook-Off, and that way I can go in and tag people in the playlist. I make sure I'm subscribed to everybody that's in there's 100 channels in the collaboration. So I randomly had to go and add 40 something channels that I wasn't already subscribed to the deal, and then I've had to go back and redo them quite a few times now.
It's crazy. Yeah, I've had to do that before too.
So
I think
my wife
screwed up. I don't know.
I'll see you later, chat.
My wife has another question. Do you have to be careful what you post for the rescue stuff?